Szoboszlai defends red card as Liverpool teenager Rio Nguemaha makes another impact. Chief executive certain Liverpool have already signed the next Virgil van Dijk. Ibrahima Konate makes Real Madrid transfer joke as Liverpool's stance on Marc Guehi emerges. Liverpool's best starting lineup after Alexander Isak transfer as clear dilemma emerges. Now let's hear the details. Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Also leave your comment below. Let's start. Liverpool players were involved in a dramatic day in action for their respective international teams. Szoboszlai defended the red card that contributed to a night of frustration for the Liverpool midfielder and teammate Milos Kerkez. Szoboszlai skippered Hungary in their dramatic 2-2 World Cup qualifying draw in the Republic of Ireland on Saturday evening. Hungary raced into a 2-goal lead with the Reds man providing an assist for Roland Szoboszlai for the second goal with a corner delivery, only to see the home side fight back with an injury-time equalizer from Swansea City's Adam Ida. The visitors had played more than half an hour with 10 men after Szoboszlai was given a straight red card for a late challenge on Dara O'Shea. And Szoboszlai said, "I hope everyone has learned, so you can't react to any move against us. However, I have to defend Roland Szoboszlai, he would never intentionally harm anyone, and he didn't want to now either. However, if this is red, the first Irish goal should also be watched." Szoboszlai was booked in the first half of a feisty encounter in which Kerkez was replaced with 10 minutes remaining. And the Liverpool midfielder added, "I am also proud that we were able to fight like this for 50 minutes with a man deficit. The first half was a dream start. If we had kept it up, the whole match would have been like this. There will be matches where a point will be worth gold." Meanwhile, Rio Nguemaha produced another contribution from the bench to help England under-19s draw 3-3 with Spain in Murcia. Nguemaha emerged for the final quarter and created a goal for Everton youngsters Harrison Armstrong in the 87th minute of a game in which fellow Liverpool youngster Trey Nyoni played the opening 69 minutes. Wataru Endo was also in action overnight, playing the full match as Japan, who have already qualified for the World Cup, drew 0-0 with Mexico in a friendly in Oakland in the United States. Chief executives certain Liverpool have already signed the next Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool saw off strong competition to complete the summer signing of highly rated teenage Italian defender Giovanni Leone. Liverpool have landed Virgil van Dijk's successor this summer following the arrival of Giovanni Leone. That is the verdict of Martin Semmens, the executive who helped bring the hotly tipped teenager to Parma last year and helped sanction the sale of the veteran Dutchman to the Reds. Liverpool saw off rival interest to secure Leone in a transfer valued at £26 million plus additional clauses. They are confident they have recruited one of Europe's most promising young defenders. Semmens held similar faith in the youngster's abilities when he approved his move from Sampdoria to Parma 12 months earlier. The former Southampton chief executive served as CEO of Kraus Group Soccer, Parma's ownership group, until this summer, reports Liverpool.com. Semmens, who was at Southampton when Liverpool paid a then club record £75 million fee for Van Dijk, assumed a comparable position with London City Lionesses last month and expressed his respect for Leone during a recent interview. When questioned on TalkSport whether the new Liverpool centre-back represents the heir to the club captain, he responded, "Yeah, absolutely for me. We signed him the second year I was there in the summer, and I have a deep love for the likes of Tino Livramento, for Southampton, and signing these young players. Romeo Lavia, this was the same kind of deal. I think it was clearly the best young centre-back in Italy, if not Europe. And again, we sold him the vision to come to our club to play in Serie A. I think it was 17 when he started playing, and then when the right moment comes, you will go." The view was that they would probably stay there longer than 1 year, but Leone was such a level, and again, I think it highlights Liverpool's ability that they spotted that. There were other clubs in the Premier League that asked me about him, not as an executive for Parma because I'd left by then, and I told them what I thought, and they didn't follow through on it. 5 or 6 Premier League teams asked me. I told them he's as good as Virgil. Liverpool never called me, never asked for a reference, because they've got such an ability to find those players. Top player. Newcastle United were understood to be among the group of interested clubs, with Parma CEO Federico Cherubini admitting, "We rejected a higher offer from Newcastle for Leone. But plans have changed with Liverpool. I've always said the club wanted to keep Giovanni, and he's always said he'd be happy to stay. We even turned down an offer from Newcastle, which was more advantageous than the one Liverpool eventually made. When the Reds came forward, our plans changed, both because the offer was very attractive and because Giovanni made it clear he was very happy to take advantage of this opportunity." Ibrahima Konate makes Real Madrid transfer joke as Liverpool's stance on Marc Guehi emerges. Liverpool centre-back Ibrahima Konate has been quizzed over transfer interest from Real Madrid. Ibrahima Konate has joked he receives regular phone calls from Kylian Mbappé urging him to move to Real Madrid as the intrigue over his Liverpool career continues. Konate is in the last 12 months of his current deal at Anfield, with talks over a new contract having yet to reach a resolution. The impasse in negotiations has increased the intensity of reports in Spain regularly linking Real Madrid with an interest in signing Konate on a free transfer at the end of the season. Konate is currently with Real Madrid forward Mbappé as part of the France squad preparing for their World Cup qualifier against Iceland on Tuesday. And when asked in a quick-fire answer game on French television channel TF1 over whether Mbappé was putting pressure on him to switch to the Bernabeu, Konate joked, "He calls me every 2 hours. No, no, no." While Liverpool allowed Jarell Quansah to join Bayer Leverkusen for £35 million in the summer, they bolstered their centre-back options with the signing of 18-year-old Giovanni Leone from Parma for £26 million. They also agreed a £35 million deal for Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi, only for the transfer to collapse with Palace unable to recruit a replacement before last Monday's transfer deadline. Liverpool are at present unlikely to move for Guehi in the January transfer window, given the player will be available on a free next summer. Mbappé, meanwhile, has been talking about the battle to win this season's Premier League. The Reds were emphatic winners last time out, finishing 10 points clear of Arsenal. Speaking to Bild, Mbappé said, "Of course, Liverpool has to be mentioned first and foremost, as they're determined to win one title after another," the Frenchman explained. "But I also have high hopes for Arsenal, because the core of the team has known each other for a long time, and that's a crucial factor in football. And Manchester City is always at the forefront anyway, with Pep Guardiola and Erling Haaland." After being pushed for an answer, Mbappé replied, "That's tough. Maybe Arsenal, maybe it will be their year. It would certainly be easier to say City or Liverpool." Liverpool's best starting lineup after Alexander Isak transfer as clear dilemma emerges. Liverpool have a selection dilemma to face after a £444 million summer transfer spend. It was a record-breaking summer for Liverpool Football Club as the Reds went on a spending spree that saw them shell out over £400 million on new players. The Premier League champions' show of ambition saw them bring in Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak in separate deals worth over £100 million each. Meanwhile, Milos Kerkez, Georgi Mamardashvili, Jeremy Frimpong, Giovanni Leone and Hugo Ekitike were also brought to the club in high-profile transfers. It puts Arne Slot's side in a strong position to defend their league title, yet the Dutchman faces a challenge to rotate his side and keep everyone happy. So what is his best lineup? Echo writers Paul Gorst and Joe Rimmer have their say. Paul Gorst: "So if Liverpool were playing in the Champions League final next week with a clean bill of health, who gets the nod following £444 million worth of investment this summer? Georgi Mamardashvili will provide Alisson Becker with real international class competition for the years ahead, but the Brazil #1 remains the best man for the job in goal. At right back, the pace, power and tenacity of Connor Bradley is a real option, and Dominic Szoboszlai has shown he can excel when called upon in that position also, but I am going to give new signing Jeremy Frimpong the nod. The Netherlands international can also help Mohamed Salah cause chaos by going on the outside with his blistering pace. We're yet to see what Frimpong can truly do, but I am backing him on the flank." Milos Kerkez is on the opposite flank as he goes about forging a path as Liverpool's left-back for the long term, while Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk at centre-half is about as straightforward as it gets with this particular team selection. In midfield, it's a case of 3-2 for me. While Curtis Jones is growing in importance in this Liverpool squad, I still suspect the starting 11 will come down to two of either Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis Mac Allister and Szoboszlai. It's a welcome headache for Slot to have, but I am going to stick with the first two, and the Hungary captain can be the first reserve off the bench. It's harsh on Szoboszlai, who has started the season so strongly, but Gravenberch and Mac Allister's partnership is a must. That means Florian Wirtz operates as the number 10 just behind Alexander Isak, who leads the line in place of Hugo Ekitike, who has made a superb start to Liverpool life, it must be stressed. Cody Gakpo is now the undisputed first choice on the left, and Sulla, who else patrols the right side? My team: Alisson, Frimpong, Konate, Van Dijk, Kerkez, Mac Allister, Gravenberch, Sulla, Wirtz, Gakpo, Isak. Joe Rimmer. The beauty of Liverpool's £400 million summer spend is that the debate about Arne Slot's best team should be something of a moot point. In fact, Slot's best side is whichever one he deems suitable for the opposition lining up against the Reds on any given occasion. Need stability and industry against a side that may dominate the ball? Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis Mac Allister and Ryan Gravenberch are the midfield for you. Looking to break down a stubborn defense sitting deep? Florian Wirtz can provide the answers. Wanting to break quickly and catch a side out on the counter-attack? Jeremy Frimpong's pace may be useful. Slot can mix and match until his heart's content with quality right throughout the squad, and he can turn to his bench in times of need. But for argument's sake, let's say Liverpool are in a major cup final, who are his best starting 11 on paper? That's where some ruthless decisions are required. Alisson Becker is the undisputed number 1 in goal and, after the failure to sign Mark Guehi, Ibrahima Konate is first choice to partner Virgil van Dijk in the centre of defence. Milos Kerkez probably just shades Andy Robertson at left back as things stand, but right back throws up the first real dilemma. Frimpong was signed for a lot of money and clearly has his qualities. Szoboszlai has also shown he can play in that position with real skill. And yet for me, if fit, Connor Bradley probably just shades it for the time being. But that isn't to say I'd want to go without Liverpool's tireless Hungarian, who I believe is key to balance for the Reds right now. So he takes his place in my midfield alongside Ryan Gravenberch and a man who I believe is arguably the best midfielder on the planet in Alexis Mac Allister. So what of £116 million man Florian Wirtz? I'm going to somewhat shoehorn him in at left wing, with Cody Gakpo, perhaps unfairly, on the bench. Alexander Isak gets the nod ahead of Hugo Ekitike, and Mohamed Salah takes his place on the other flank. My team: Alisson, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, Kerkez, Gravenberch, Mac Allister, Sulla, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, Isak.